We've been eating good. We've been eating really good. We've been eating good way more than we've been drinking good. We've actually completely run out of ideas for this channel.
Hey, what's going on, guys? CH Homebrew for Life. Today we got all the homies over. We're gonna figure out how to check our catalytic converters on our check engine lights on our, what's up?
We're a beer channel. What are you talking about right now? We're supposed to be talking about beer.
Oh yeah.
But it's time to get back on track to what the heartbeat for this channel was all about, making booze at home. We decided to go gluten-free this month, so we needed to shift our thirsty appetites elsewhere for February. We're not going sober. Come on, Braj, grow a brain. We're just gonna focus on mead for this episode. The oldest beverage in the game, fam, and I know that because I have the Google machine in my house. Mead, honey wine, nectar of the gods, has dated back to 7000 BC, way before the dinosaurs ruled the earth. Back when Vikings, mages, warriors, princesses, and kings laid foot on the gods' sweet green earth. Mead was the most popular beverage in the lands. Mead was the original party favor, the pioneer of social sparklers. Fast forward to 2020, mead is still around. Much more difficult to find when in comparison to some other beverages, but it's definitely still around. We sniffed out a meadery across town, and it inspired us to make our own. Join us on this adventure, and by the end of the video, you will know exactly what it takes to make your own mead.
What's going on, guys? It's Maury and CH, and we're back.
Redo that.
What?
Redo it.
What did you do wrong?
What's going on, guys? It's Maury and CH, and we're back with another one. Today we're going to be making mead at home.
Know why?
Because mead is delicious, it's easy to make, and if you're a home brewer or a home winemaker, you probably already have all the equipment, and that just makes it even easier to add to your repertoire.
We also have a very special guest today coming in through the back door. Hey! What's up, dude?
Guys, how you
Where's
doing?
my high five, man? Vince from Twisted Horror.
I heard you have one of the best meaderies in town.
Well, I'll give you the $20 later, but
Depends who you ask. All right, you guys want to start making mead?
let's make some
Let's
meat.
do it.
Time to gear up for this 5-gallon batch, fam. Now there's a bunch of different ways to make mead, but we're gonna do it the traditional way, honey forward. No fruit for this recipe, you Braj. 12 pounds of honey is on tonight's menu.
So you want to taste your honey, make sure it tastes good. Sometimes there's bad honey on the market, and I always like to taste things because the better quality ingredients you use, the better quality mead you'll be making.
1 gallon of honey is 12 pounds. And for all you trivia warlocks out there, 1 gallon of water is 8.34 pounds. Only using the best honey today. Shout out to Temecula Valley Honey Company.
Yeah, well, this is handmade quality shit we're talking here.
Snag 4 gallons of bottled water, preferably reverse osmosis water, but just try to avoid tap water. I'm not knocking tap water. I use it to bathe in, brew IPAs in, but we're not boiling anything today. So just snag the stuff that's bottled. All right, now let's get into the nerdy stuff. Yeast nutrient. Snag this off Amazon. We'll throw a link in the description. Why do we need yeast nutrient?
Let's think about this for a sec, Ted.
Bees and Mother Nature have perfected the way to make honey. Yeast looks at honey like it's junk food, hence the need for other micronutrients to help make yeasties healthy and happy, thus making a better tasting final product. In layman's terms, just snag some goddamn yeast nutrient. Also, we're gonna snag some Cervomyces. This is also gonna help with cutting down fermentation time, greatly reducing harsh sulfur notes. This could be optional if you want, gives us peace of mind though. Link in the bio as well. Yeast! Now there's a bunch of different yeast you can use, but we're gonna go with Cali 001, White Lab. Snag 2 packs. Every homebrew store in the universe carries this.
Apple juice jug, because when things ferment, they put up a little foamy croissant and you don't want.
Now that we got our ducks in order, let's break down how we're gonna ambush this brew day, even though we're not really brewing. First things first, fill up your sink with hot water. Now put your honey in the water. This will save you time and a headache in the future, so stay tuned. Time to grab my speitel and fill it up with water. You want a product review on this thing? Well, here it is. This is a story about love and hate. I have a love-hate relationship with this thing. I love it that it's the best fermenter I've ever had, but I hate that it's insanely overpriced. But let's fill it up all the way up. I want to be 100% certain today because we're not bringing anything to a boil. Not using heat to kill bacteria today, amigos. Remember the ratio? 1 shot of Star San for every 5 gallons of Wawa? You know, fam. You know. Now let's toss in everything we're going to be using today that's going to be in contact with our concoction. Don't fear the foam, fam. Alright, so when you got all of your goods soaking, it's time to create a little sanding station. Use paper towels if you got them, new napkins, anything of the sort. Snag all of your stuff, bungs, airlocks, paddle mixer if you got one, a spoon if you don't, those mashed potato mixer things if you got them. Just make sure it's sanitized, and let's set it on the towels. Now make sure your fermenter or whatever you're using, if it has a valve, make sure it's turned off. I've made this mistake too many damn times that I'm forced to homebrew for life now because a real brewery would have fired me by now. Let's get all of our 4 gallons of water into our fermenter. This shot makes me have to go pee. Now snag your honey from your sink. It should be soft by now. Now let's mix in our honey. What we're using here is a paddle mixer drill bit. It's been sanitized. These things are only like $9 on Amazon. I'll throw a link in the bio as well. You really want to stir this stuff up. It's going to introduce oxygen, which is really going to help the yeast out. Get all of your honey out. No rush. Sanitize a spoon if you need to get it out. Get your money's worth. Get your ABV's worth. All right, let's lift it up and let's take original gravity reading and let's call it 1094. God, that's high. All right, let's go ahead and add our yeast nutrient and our yeast. Don't trip out. It's the same stuff we recommended earlier. Maury just pulled it from the brewery he runs, so it's like commercial grade quantities.
At homebrew shops, they sell those little vials of yeast. In the case, what? We are over pitching our yeast because mead is a really high gravity and it doesn't have a ton of, I mean, we added nutrients, so that's good. That'll help the yeast, but it's always a good idea to add kind of double what they recommend for beer. So if you're using 1 vial of yeast for a batch of beer, you probably want to use 2 vials of yeast for a 5-gallon batch of mead.
All right, so let's seal it with a bung and an airlock, and let's keep it around 70 degrees in a very special place where nobody can mess with it. 2 weeks. What's the game plan? Well, shake it around from time to time, anytime you get a chance. It doesn't have hops in it, so it doesn't need to be in the dark. Just airtight around 70 degrees. With beer, you obviously don't mess with it during fermentation, but with mead, we want to shake it up. This video is kind of getting boring.
I know what we have to do.
Yeah, me too.
C.
Shout out to whoever bought a t-shirt for last week's video. You're the real MVP, fam.
2 weeks later.
Let's pull a gravity reading. Let's call it 1014, which is 10.5% alcohol by volume. Long story short, that's kind of on the sweeter side. More time during fermentation makes it less sweet and more dry, but we have a show to do and I'm content with that, so let's start murdering it. Real quick, 10-second elevator speech on bottling, kegging, yada yada. Back in the day, people used to put mead in gallon jugs and let it sit for like a year. Personally, I think that's dumb as hell. Maybe it's because I'm allergic to patience. Who knows? To me, I think aging is a scam. I see it as just a marketing tool, you know, on whiskey, wine, booze, or whatever. I could care less if some king drank something 500 years ago and now some restaurant wants to charge $200 for an ounce of whiskey that tastes identical to Evan Williams. Here's my take. If you hit your final gravity and it tastes good, start drinking it. I'm gonna slightly carb my mead at 4 psi for 3-4 days. If you want a thorough video on that, on kegging, I'll post our kegging video in the description below. Wow, I thought it was gonna be way sweeter. It's actually kind of dry.
That's delightful. It's, you know, not crazy sweet like I thought it would be, but it has, you know, it still has that tinge of honey, and
it's kind of got that champagne, kind of like dry brut kind of champagne feel.
The varietal of honey really stands out. You can really pick up the blossoms of the star thistle. It's almost kind of champagne-like, very effervescent.
Well, it's definitely not twisted horn. But I'll tell you what, for homebrew, it's pretty damn solid. Cheers, guys. Skål.
Thanks for watching this week's video, guys. If you're ever in Vista, North County, be sure to check out Twisted Horn.
In California.
Is that North or South America?
Cheers to eating good.
And drinking good.
Skål!
Skål!
Perfect. Nailed it.